Love and light, everyone. I'm going to wait to see if some of you are going to come in before I get started so that majority of you can catch the live. I will wait. A, A, A. I'm just trying to process what just happened. Yes, indeedy. That is definitely the energy that's going on right now. I'm just trying to process a lot of what has been happening. Welcome, love and light to all of you who are tapping in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm trying to wait for a few more people to get up in here because I have some very important things to say. I haven't been live in quite some time, and I'm going to share with you guys why I have not been live. But definitely, I am trying to process what has been happening. And I know exactly the reason why. Um, the things have been happening the way that they have. It's called spiritual warfare. Yep. It is spiritual warfare happening and going on. Love and light to each and every last single one of you who just tapped in. Like I said, I have not been live in quite some time, and I'm about to reveal the reason why I have not been live. And we're going to talk about this spiritual journey that a lot of us are on. A lot of you who are subscribed to my channel, and a lot of you who are not subscribed to my channel. We're all on the same, frequencies, mindset. Being that we're all very much interested in being in our higher selves and getting rid of low vibrational things, people, places, and so on and so forth, like that. Love and light to all of you who just tapped in. Love and light. So I want to get into some things because I have not been live, and I'm going to spill the tea, and I'm going to address a lot of different things that a lot of you do not know because of the fact that I have not been live. Um, and no, I'm not showing myself on camera. I'm going to explain why. But it is me. It is Coach Love and Light, Divine. It is I. So, first of all, I want to start off by wishing all of you, abundance and love and light. Those of you who are in your higher selves before I get started. I want to send out a lot of healing, vibrations to a lot of you who are needing it and everything like that before I get started, because I have some serious tea to spill. Lots and lots of serious spiritual tea to spill. And you guys are not going to want to miss this. So I hope that you guys are staying prayed up and are in your higher selves, and that you guys are staying high vibrational and staying away from the negativity, um, because it's a lot of it. It's a lot of a lot of negativity that's going on basically. So anyway, so I'm gonna not waste any time. I'm gonna get into my purpose for going live. So I want to touch on this spiritual journey, situation that we're all um, either seeking or into, or, you know, in the middle of. Okay. I just been noticing that there's a lot of unnecessary competition. It's a lot of unnecessary competition, and people wanting to put other people down because of their own personal spiritual beliefs and so on and so forth, like that. Spirituality is not a competition. I want to say that again. Whatever level and point that you are in your spirituality, in your spiritual journey, that is you. Because we're all on different paths. We're not here to compete against each other. We're actually here to learn from each other. That's the reason why I go live on my YouTube channel and I spit the spiritual tea to help align and give you guys confirmations on a lot of different things that you guys may, not be aware of, not sure of. I've just been noticing a lot of competition when it comes down to spirituality. Other people want to put you down because of your level and make it seem like their level is better than your level. Again, that's why it's called spiritual journey. This is the point where you find yourselves. This is not about you doing what other people do. That's why it's called individual spiritual journey, self acknowledgement, learning about yourselves, and so many different things, that a lot of people are missing about being on this spiritual journey. Spiritual journey is not about competition. And it's very disturbing to see every single day, especially on social media. Social media has become a shit show for spirituality. People wanting to compete, and it's disgusting at this point of where I am, spiritually. But I take it with a grain of salt because of the fact that I'm understanding that, a lot of people are very insecure and not sure of themselves within their spirituality. That's the whole purpose, is for you to find yourself, not copy off of somebody else, not want to be somebody else while you're on your spiritual journey, not compete against other people while you're on your spiritual journey, and not put somebody else down while they're on their spiritual journey, because you're defeating the purpose of being on your spiritual journey. It's called individuality. It's each individual person learning themselves, finding out about themselves, and, going through this whole spiritual process of just learning about self love, self journey, self awareness. Because once you learn yourself, nobody can have any type of power over you. This spiritual journey is not about competition. So let me skip from that. Let me get into some other things that I wanted to tap in on. Now, I spoke about me being absent and not going live for quite some time now. Now I'm about to spill the tea on why I have not been live in months now. You know, um, my last live, I did it with a young lady that I was helping to mentor. Um, and on that last um, live video that I did with that young lady on my live, something happened to me, and I'm just now about to spill the beans of what happened. I had a medical emergency in the middle of that live, but I was able to finish that live. And once I left that live, it was a wrap from there. I actually don't have memory of what happened after I went on that live with that young lady. I've been having to try to retrace my steps because I don't know what happened. Now, I will say that the medical emergency that I ended up, you know, experiencing almost took my life. And so um, I would just go ahead and say what happened to me. So, according to the doctors and nurses, hello everyone who um, assisted me in my journey and helped me during the time that I was having issues with my health. Love and light to all of you doctors and nurses who are now following me on my YouTube channel. You guys are not alive now, but you will hear this later on. So, love and light to all of you in the chat, um, and to all of you who just popped in. You guys will get a chance to replay this later on. Now, I actually ended up experiencing having a stroke while I was live with that young lady on my last live. That's the reason why I have not been live in all these months. A lot of the doctors and nurses who saved my life are now on my YouTube channel. Hello to all of you. Thank you for your continuous, persistent assistance in saving my life. I appreciate each and every last single one of you. I did a individual short post for all of you doctors who helped to save my life and all of you nurses. But I took it down, and so I'm doing an actual live to go live and explain to my subscribers and the people who follow me and the people who are not subscribed. I wanted to explain what actually happened, and the reason why I have not been live on my YouTube channel is because I've literally been fighting for my life. Only one person that is subscribed to me knew about what happened to me because she called me while I was in ICU in the hospital fighting for my life. Now, I want to address a few things. Okay. So, what I was experiencing when I was in ICU recently, I was just released from the hospital, by the way. What I was experiencing while I was in ICU, and again, thank you to all of you doctors and you nurses who assisted me and were very, very, helpful with, helping me to recover. And I'm still going through my recovery because what I experienced, it will take quite some time for me to completely, you know, be able to transition and transform from what I experienced. So, um, I got a phone call while I was in ICU alerting me that certain content creators on YouTube were some type of way either taking credit for what was happening to me and or wanting to interview me while I was in ICU. And I just want to say that that was not a joke. That was a serious situation that I was dealing with. And I literally was fighting for my life. I have the paperwork to prove it, I have documentation. And like I said, the doctors and the nurses who assisted me in helping to save my life are now subscribed to my YouTube channel. So once again, love and light to all of you. Thank you for your continuous persistence, persistency in helping to save my life, because that was a very serious situation that I experienced. And um, I am very, very glad that I was able to take that break from YouTube, from daily things, for me to be able to step back and just really look at what was going on and who was around me and who wasn't around. I appreciate people's absence. I appreciate those of you who did step up and who came forward and who were concerned and who prayed for me during the time of me basically fighting for my life. I appreciate all of you who did not ignore the seriousness of the situation that I was dealing with, because I almost lost my life recently. That is the reason why I have not been on YouTube. It's the reason why I have not gone live. That's the reason why I am not showing myself, because I'm literally in the middle of recovering from almost losing my life. Okay? So I have been extremely reserved and just, being very observant, the observant person that I am, and listening, doing more listening than I've been doing talking. Because, you know, when you listen more instead of talking more, things are revealed. I'll just put it like that. There's a lot of different things that have been brought to my attention, and I'm very glad about it. Like I said, I'm extremely ecstatic for those of the people who took my situation as a joke and wanted to monetize off of it, capitalize off of it, talk about me, put me down, and shame me, but it was a life-threatening situation. I always say that no one could ever walk a day in my shoes because they are not me. I literally had a whole entire stroke while I was on live with that young lady. that I last went live with. You guys are welcome to go back and look at that video with Lamisha Fuller. That was my last live prior to going into a coma, okay? Because that's what it was. I was unresponsive, and unaware. I just blacked out, and that was my last memory. I cannot account for a whole 30 days. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. Okay. I'm also wanting to touch on while I was in the coma for the 30 days, after coming out of emergency surgery and trying to figure out what happened to me, I started trying to retrace my steps to try to recount for those 30 days that I don't remember after what happened to me. And I started noticing that there were, on my Google Voice account, there were um, two devices that were logged into my account that were not me, basically. Now, these two devices that were logged into my account literally was reaching out to my boss, telling my boss that I quit my job while I was in a coma. Now, I'm going to say this again. It was not me. I was literally in a coma, but there have been people that have been so invested in my pockets and my life, so much to the point where they wanted to affect my pockets so bad because they didn't like my position as a manager for the multi-million-dollar company that I used to work for. And I will say past tense because I no longer work for them. And no, it has nothing to do with the stalker slash troll who pretended to be me messaging my boss, trying to get me to lose my well paying job. No, it was a personal decision that I made because I was actually invited to come back recently after being released from the hospital. I stayed in ICU the whole entire time I was in the hospital because I'm going to say this again. I experienced a stroke. The emergency surgery doctor told me after the first surgery, she said, we as doctors have never seen a stroke on this level. I was the worst stroke survivor that they've ever seen in history as doctors. Okay? I want to explain something to you guys. When I came to after the first surgery, because I had more than one surgery to save my life, I listened to people flatline around me. I listened to people while I was in ICU lose their lives. I listened to people have to go up in there and take their families off of life support. And the doctors were all standing around looking at me recently with a puzzled look on their face, and they couldn't figure out. They said, well, how are you the worst, but you're the one that's actually surviving? And all these people around me that were in ICU were flatlining. They were dying all around me. All I kept hearing was that alarm that was going off, and it was like this and it was like stat, and then they would spit out this code that was making the doctors fly up out of my room and the nurses fly out of my room to go to the person and or people's aid that were dying around me. But keep in mind, I was the worst stroke victim that they had seen in their whole entire history of being doctors. Once again, love and light to all of you doctors and you nurses who are on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to me right now. Love and light to all of you who assisted in saving my life, who assisted in making sure that I walked up out of that hospital recently. Love and light to all of you. But I want to pinpoint something in this moment while I'm sharing this information with you guys who are tapping in and out. You know, you guys will get a chance to listen to this because I will save this live. I know a lot of people are, tapping in and listening and they're leaving. You will get a chance to listen to the whole entire live later because I've been waiting for the right time and the right moment to share this information with you guys because it's a lot of people did not know what happened to me. A lot of people didn't know the reason why I hadn't been live since, what was that, January? A lot of people didn't know that I almost died. I almost lost my life. A lot of people did not know that I was sitting in ICU the whole entire time I was in the hospital. A lot of people didn't know because I was very focused on my healing. That's the reason why I haven't been live, because I've literally been focused on my healing since I was released from the hospital recently. And a lot of you guys who are my day one subscribers, you guys also know that, it was a shock to me for me to recently learn I was actually contacted by Ty. I know a lot of you OGs will remember him from back in the day when I first started my YouTube channel, before I cleared my YouTube channel and took down my first videos. I recently shared with you guys that my day one subscriber, he lost his life. He actually had a heart attack. I was contacted by his family personally to let me know that he had died. I put a post on one of my recent shorts doing a dedication to Mr. Ty, who lost his life. And that is so crazy because I was just released from the hospital after having a stroke, and then I learned from his family that he had a heart attack and he actually died. I have his obituary. So I have proof from his family personally that Mr. Ty is no longer with us. And I just want to say in this moment that, people who take life for granted and who don't, take life seriously should rethink a lot of different things. I didn't lose my life because I stayed prayed up. I didn't lose my life because of the fact that God has been using me to help to teach all of you guys how to heal. I am a natural healer. That's the reason why the doctors recently, while I was in ICU, they were running tests on me after me surviving that horrific situation that I dealt with. Again, I was the worst case that the doctors have ever seen. Once again, much love going out to all of you doctors and you nurses who were following me on my YouTube channel. Absolutely. I know that they started running tests on me because they wanted to understand, why did I come into the hospital when I was the worst? And all of those other people around me were flatlining. They wanted to understand, what was it about me? What was it about me of why I didn't suffer and go out like those other people did? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because it ain't time yet. And the Most High never said that the weapon would not form. He just said it would not prosper. Okay? I am a walking, living, breathing testimony of God's favor over me, the anointing over me. I am a real chosen one. I am gifted beyond belief. And I want to highlight something that someone screamed at me recently and said, if you are so tapped in and so close to the Most High, then why are all of these things happening to you? Well, first of all, it didn't happen to me, it happened for me so I can teach you guys from my personal experience, from my personal, uh, perseverance. Because of the fact that I survived such a horrific situation, God enabled me to be able to come back and share my testimony with each and every last single one of you guys on my YouTube channel. Those of you who are subscribed and those of you who are not. That's the reason why anytime anything happens to me, I come back and I share with you guys, because God is using me to help all of you guys to understand that it didn't happen to me, it happened for me so that I could come and help and guide and teach all of you guys about your healing, about your ability to be able to heal. I am a master manifester, I'm a master healer. That's the reason why I did not depart from what just happened to me. I sat in ICU and I listened to all those people around me die, while the whole time I was the worst case that those doctors have ever witnessed. Now, I recently had to go back and get the staples removed from out of my body after having the serious two medical procedures, two major medical surgeries that I just had to have done to me recently. The first doctor who performed the emergency surgery on me, I got a chance to see her again recently when I just had to go back and have the staples removed from out of my body. And she opened up the examination door when I went back to the hospital recently, and she grabbed her face and she screamed. She said, like, from the inside. And she looked at me and she said, oh my God. She said, you are a walking miracle. She said, all of us doctors, you have inspired all of us. While we watched other people flatline and lose their lives and their families had to come and take them off of life support, you were the worst that we've ever seen in history. And look at you. You look like nothing ever happened to you. Except the fact that, I had to return to have the staples removed from out of my body after having those two major surgeries. She looked at me and she said, you have inspired all of us doctors. We now know that, There's another side to this. And it warms my heart that I can be, that light to people who are in the darkness. Then I can shine light into the darkness where there is no light. I listened to moans and groans and screams while I was inside of the IC unit fighting for my life, staying prayed up the whole entire time. People having to take their families off of life support while in ICU. I have pictures. I have medical records. I have everything as a reminder of what I survived. I survived 2 major emergency surgeries. 2 major, not minor, but major. And I came out of both surgeries each time like nothing happened to me. I want to share something with you guys. So, the whole time I was in ICU, I was noticing, which a lot of the nurses and the doctors, that were viewing me and, taking care of me, let me know they were not used to a person like myself in the ICU unit that I was in. They were not used to coming across someone like myself. And let me explain the reason why. Because of the fact that I was still fully functionable, I was still fully responsive. I could still talk. My cognitive function was still on point. I could still walk. I could still fend for myself. I could still move around. I could still do a whole lot of different things that everyone else in the IC unit could not do, who were in the stroke um, area. I'm just going to put it like that. I was on an ICU unit floor I was surrounded by people like myself who had experienced having a stroke. But these people could not talk, they could not walk, they could not fend for themselves, they could not respond, they couldn't feed themselves, they couldn't do a whole lot of different things. They had no cognitive function. They were literally unresponsive. I kept hearing from the nurses and the doctors, we're not used to this. We are not used to this. You are a walking anomaly. They were not used to a person who was the worst case, the worst stroke case that they've ever seen. They were not used to someone actually being able to respond to them, communicate with them, and be able to do everything that a normal person would be able to do who did not experience such a horrific and life-threatening situation like I did. I am very grateful and I'm very thankful for the favor over my life. Because again, the weapon was formed, but it did not prosper. Because I have work to do. Okay? It is the anointing over me. And I got also confirmation from the doctors. They were able to, while performing surgery on me, emergency surgery, they were able to confirm who I really and truly am. When I tell you that second doctor, when that man came in my room after the second procedure that was done on me, when that man came in there and seen that I was awake after coming out of surgery, the excitement coming from that man was just, I mean, it was exciting. It made me smile because he bragged about my anatomy. That's what he did. He bragged about my anatomy, and he bragged about how easy the microscopic procedure, second surgical procedure that they had to perform on me to save my life. He bragged about how easy it was. He said, "Oh my God, ma'am." He said, "You have the original anatomy." And I smiled. And he said, "What? You look like nothing happened to you. You look like you look like you didn't just go through what you just went through." And I always ask people, what does it look like? And then I have to understand what they mean by that, because I was surrounded by people who were catatonic. They couldn't speak. They could not walk. They couldn't talk. They couldn't fend for themselves. They couldn't do anything for themselves. They couldn't feed themselves. They were unresponsive. So I have to overstand on that level of why the doctors were so um, blown away by my rapid recovery after the emergency surgery that was performed on me twice. Okay? Two major emergency surgeries to save my life. And each time I came out like nothing happened. And I'm very grateful for all of the doctors and the nurses who helped to save my life. Thank you all who are subscribed, who are watching, and who are listening. I'm majority leaving this live for you guys because I know that you guys have been wondering when I was going to go live. So this is that day today. You guys know that I have been focusing on my healing and my recovery after surviving, you know, the close call that I experienced, almost losing my life. I appreciate all of you doctors and all of you nurses who assisted me in saving my life. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope that my testimony will help encourage other people who are dealing with life challenges and issues and different things like that. You know, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. I'm not, ashamed or hurt about my scars and what happened to me or anything like that. I'm actually encouraged. I'm actually motivated. Just like the doctors all said, they all came and visited me the day I was being released from the hospital recently, and they all said, "We just had to come and see you because you have inspired all of us. You guys have inspired me too. I want you all to know that." That is the reason for me leaving this live, because I want you all to understand that you guys have inspired me too, just like I inspired all of you. Although I was the worst stroke case that y'all have ever seen in history, you guys all got a chance to see the favor and the anointing over my life God was not going to allow that weapon to prosper. Although that weapon formed, it didn't prosper. And now I am a living, breathing testimony of how God is real in my life and how I stay prayed up and I stay connected to the Most High. No matter what life challenges, are being thrown at me, I never get down. I don't get depressed. I don't be like, oh, woe is me type of situation. Like, I was literally cracking jokes right out of emergency surgery as soon as I came to and I was able to speak. Like, I had the nurses and the doctors all laughing and they were all looking at me like, where did you come from? Like, seriously, because that's my thought process. I thanked each and every last single one of the doctors and the nurses every time they came into my room to assist me, to help me with my recovery. I thanked them and they all said, where did you come from? We're not used to seeing someone go through something so horrific and then you're so lighthearted and you're so jolly and so cheery. There's nothing for me to be angry or sad about because of the favor that is over my life. Yes, I just experienced something that most people, like I just shared with you guys, I listened to people flatline all around me. Those people lost their lives. And I literally was saying a prayer for them as I was listening and watching those doctors and those nurses running up out of my room to go save and, I guess basically, clock when those people were dying. Because it was so many people that were dying around me and they were not even as worse as I was. I was the one that everybody was looking at like, wait a minute, you came in here the worst, but you're the one who's surviving. It's because of the fact that I stay prayed up. It's the anointing over me. It's my connection with the Most High. It's the favor that's over me. That's the reason why I come and I drop gems on you guys and I share with you guys a lot of the different things that have happened to me. I'm not upset about anything. Even the people who wanted to take credit for the reason why I was in the hospital. But guess what though? I still survived everything, every challenge, every obstacle that was placed in front of me. I still survived it. So now all of you know the reason why I have not been live since I was on live with that young lady. Because I was literally, I put it on everything that I love. God is my witness. I was literally in the middle of having a stroke while I was on live with that young lady in January. God is my witness. And I survived. Now I'm here sharing my testimony with each and every last single one of you of the favor that God has over me. I'm not going nowhere. Every weapon that is formed against me will never, ever prosper because I have a purpose for being here. It is my spiritual journey that I am on here to help teach people how to heal. I am a master manifester. I'm a master healer. And just like the person who yelled at me days ago and said, if you this, that, and the third, and if you're supposed to be so connected to the Most High, then why are these things happening to you? People don't understand. When you are a chosen one, when you are anointed, you are going to be put through certain challenges, certain obstacles. And it is your perseverance through it that is going to prove the anointing and favor over your life. Nobody ever said that this spiritual journey was going to be easy. Nobody ever said that. Nobody said that this was going to be a walk in the park. And then you guys also have to realize too, in this day and time, we're dealing with spiritual warfare. We're dealing with people who want to try to make your spiritual journey harder than what it needs to be. And me being a person who I raised myself, I'm an orphan, no mother, no father, no family. I raised myself. All I know is how to be perseverant over every challenge that is ever being thrown at me. That's all that I know. All I know is how to be the warrior and fight through every challenge and obstacle that is being thrown at me. That's all that I know. I don't know how to ball up in a knot and be like, whoa, it's me, and cry and feel sorry for myself. I don't feel like that about me because I am a warrior. My spiritual gifts and the anointing over me was given to me by the Most High so that I can teach you guys and show you guys the favor that God put over me. It's real. I survived something that I watched a lot of people around me not survive. And that's just not even in this situation that I'm sharing with you guys of me just being released from the hospital. I'm talking about my whole entire life of being an orphan, no mother, no father, no family, challenges after challenges, and I'm mastering each and every last single challenge and obstacle that is being thrown in my way. I'm a 50-year-old woman. When people think that they're winning over me and laughing at the pain and so on and so forth, all it's doing is motivating me and it's making me go harder. It's that spiritual warrior that's in me that will not allow me to lay down and say, whoa, it's me. I don't have that in me. All the while, I've been fighting for my life for these past few months that you guys have not heard from me. All the while, I was in ICU fighting for my life. I stayed prayed up the whole entire time. And I knew that I was going to make it out so that I could come share my testimony with each and every last single one of you guys. On how real God is in my life. That's the reason why I come to you guys and I share my testimony, because it is real. The anointing over my life is real. Every weapon that the enemy tries to form, it never prospers, because I'm still here, able to share my testimony no matter what has happened to me in my 50 years of being here. I have been able to persevere over every last single challenge and obstacle that has been thrown my way. I want to encourage each and every last single one of you guys. If you are not tapped in, if you are not in your higher selves, I suggest that you get there. Because it is only the Most High that can help to dig you up out of certain situations, that can make sure that the weapon that is formed against you never prospers. It is important for you guys to know yourselves, love on yourselves, pour into yourself. That is the reason why I am still here. That is the reason why those weapons that were formed against me did not prosper, because of the love that I have for myself. I never seek outside of myself. I always seek within. It's the inner that I walk in. And I know a lot of people are very angry and pissed off at me because they like, why this bitch just won't die? I'm going to tell you why. Because it ain't meant for me to go anywhere. I'm 50 years old, about to be 51 in 2 weeks. I have a birthday coming up. God made sure that I survived this near death experience that I just went through so that I can make it to my 51st birthday, so that I can share my testimony with each and every last single one of you guys, so that I can shut down the naysayers, and for all of the evil people and wicked people who are unhealed, who don't love themselves, who don't know themselves, so that I can show them the favor that they know that is over me. And that's the reason why they're so jealous of me. They jealous of the connection that I have with the Most High. That's why they speak so ill over me. That's why they wish death on me. That's why they wish that they were me and will never be me. See, because when I noticed when I started speaking about healing, and I'm going to touch on this too. I noticed when I started speaking about healing, people pop off of my live, which is fine, because part of my spiritual journey and the anointing over me is for me to trigger people. I was recently part of a panel, and we were, sharing and exchanging information. And when I started speaking about healing, I saw the devil jump out of everyone that was on that panel because they were not ready to receive. They were not ready for the energy, the inner God in me. Because it ain't outside of you, it's in you. They were not ready for that inner G that I walk in. They were not ready for it. I intimidate the unhealed. I intimidate the wounded. I intimidate the people who lack self-love for themselves and who don't know themselves. I intimidate them because of the energy that I walk in. And I don't got to put people on blast. I don't got to embarrass you and call you out your name and talk bad about you, because that's the reason why I let all these days go by, because all I've done is alchemize, transform, and transmute that negativity. And I allow for the energy to speak for itself. See, people walk around pretending to be certain ways that they really and truly are not until they cross paths with an anointed person like myself, a real chosen, gifted, ascended master like myself, until people cross paths with a real spiritualist like myself. They don't know what hit them, because I bring out the unhealed part of people. And when I tell you, I have heard that, a lot of people have made comments and say, well, what was wrong with Divine speaking about healing? There was nothing wrong with what I said. And it wasn't anything wrong with what I said. And I want people to understand that I'm not offended by the disrespect. I was called out of my name. I was called a bitch for speaking about healing. All I said was, I choose not to hold any grudge against anyone because it is our healing that we should be focused on. Oh, I recognize the nonsense that happens, and the projections and the fact that people are not healed. But that's not my focus, though. So what we were able to do was to pinpoint the fact that there were some mental illness, issues that were involved with certain individuals. Okay, with a certain individual. And once I processed that, I decided in that moment, I'm not going to hold any grudges because, first of all, I never had a personal issue with this person to begin with, although I was wrongfully targeted and attacked. But once again, that's the unhealed side of people that wants to come at me because they want to get a reaction that they're not going to get from me. Because what I've been able to demonstrate is the fact that I am healed. See, while everyone blew up at me about um, me just speaking about healing and focusing on healing, because that's what I do every day, I don't just talk about it, I actually be about it. So I'm not a person who, wants to spread a bunch of talk and not actually, walk in that very energy that I'm speaking about. I actually walk the walk and talk the talk. So I do all of the above. I'm just a person who I read energy from people. And I'm also going to speak on this too. When I was first basically, it was brought to my attention about going on the panel, I was against it because, once again, I have been focusing on my healing. And when I was text the link to join, which I now understand why that happened, I had my reservations about it, but I went on ahead and I did it anyway because I understand that the Most High wanted all of what happened to happen the way that it did because people actually showed how truly unhealed that they really and truly are because all of their demons jumped out, all because of little old me speaking about everyone focusing on their healing journey, because that's what I do every day. I focus on my healing. I don't focus on the nonsense, the mess. Notice I haven't spoken anyone's name because that's not what it's about. It's not about me pointing the finger and saying, oh, you're a bad person because you cursed me out and you called me a bitch and you called me out of my name and so on and so forth, and you're a devil and you're evil and this one and that one. I don't have to do that. They did that to themselves. Now, the one thing that, I always allow people to show who they really and truly are. And in that moment, that is exactly what happened. And all I did was promptly remove myself and block each and every last single one of them. That is how I move. And I also want to touch on one important thing too, because I said I said to that person 72 hours prior to this happening, I said, you know, I normally do not interact with men. I don't have any dealings with guys, and I have my reasons. And 72 hours later, I got confirmation of why I don't. Okay? And it's just a test of the emergency broadcast system. Be careful when you come across a person like myself, because I am walking karma. I am going to trigger you because of the anointing over me, because of the spiritual ranking that I have, because of the fact that I am an ascended master. I am in my higher self. I am very high vibrational, and I am going to trigger any parts of you that are still needing to be healed. And for the fact that I triggered people by speaking about healing speaks volumes. Yes, it does. And once again, I don't feel any type of way. I'm not angry. I wasn't embarrassed, because I know, because I saw the looks on their faces, they were all embarrassed after the backlash that they have all received for attacking me like that on their panel, all because I spoke about healing. See, I allow people to show themselves for who they really and truly are. My energy itself brings out the real in people. Nobody can hide anything when crossing paths with a person like myself who is as anointed as I am. I am going to bring out the bitch out of you, whether you know it or not. And what I was able to observe was there were a panel of so called men that were in their feminine energy, unbalanced, very feminine, ready to attack, ready to insult, ready to put down, all because of the fact that they are unhealed. Okay? This is what I myself and everyone else who has uh, been able to observe and watch the live, who were a witness to what happened on that panel. Now, keep in mind, I was very, very respectful, very polite. I spoke my piece and I went silent. I didn't interrupt other people. I went silent. Then, when I asked if it was okay for me to speak, I was not allowed to speak. I was constantly interrupted because I irritated the demons and the unhealed parts of all of those so called men that were in their feminine energy. This is why I don't deal with you guys, because y'all are so unhealed. When you start wanting to compete against someone else in their spirituality, you've already lost. And I will let the cat out the bag. Everyone, excuse me, everyone who attacked me on that panel, you are all under judgment. I call judgment on each and every last single one of you guys. Anyone who spoke ill over me, anyone who disrespected me, you guys are all under judgment for your viciousness. And you all are sentenced to purgatory. And you all are binded to that very same energy that you are projecting. I didn't do it to you, you did it to yourself. You actually crossed paths with walking karma. I just want you guys to know that. I don't identify myself and say, hey, you may want to, watch yourself when it comes down to me. No, I allow people to be in their true authenticity. That's what I do. I want people to be themselves so that I can see the real in you because I'm already knowing what's going to happen before it happens. Because, yeah, I was previewed to that. I foresaw it. But I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to do God's work. I am here to cross paths with certain people, and I am here to hand down karma to you. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. See, either I can bless you or I can curse you, or better yet, you curse yourselves, because all I'm going to do is call judgment on you. And I don't do return to senders. I just alchemize, transmute, and transform that negative energy and allow it to work for me. I use it for myself. I don't return negative energy because I'm very in touch with my light side and my dark side. And for all of you who want to challenge someone else's spirituality, the best thing for you to do is focus on yourselves and stop trying to challenge other people's spirituality. This is not a spiritual competition of who could be more spiritual than the next person. We have to realize that we're all on different levels. We're all on different paths. Your spiritual walk is not my spiritual walk. Your spiritual journey is not my spiritual journey. We're not all here to do the same things. I am a spiritual teacher. I am a life coach. I am a spiritual guide. I am here to bring certain situations and scenarios to you guys to help you guys to understand how to move through this life, what to look for, and what happens when you fuck around and find out after coming for someone like myself. I don't wish bad on people. They do it to themselves by coming for me when I didn't send for you. Okay? Now, I always have great intentions. I want you all to know that. I always have the best intentions ever for people. I come with love and light. I mean that to the utmost. I always come with love and light, but I will call upon my ancestors and the war angels to tax that ass. I do have the spiritual authority to do that because of my spiritual ranking. Now, once again, don't come for me if I didn't send for you. I never come at people with negativity, but I will make sure that you think twice before coming for someone like myself ever again. Because for all of you who have um, crossed paths with me and decided that y'all were going to challenge my ranking, challenge my spiritual authority, challenge me because of me being an ascended master, too bad, too sad for you. Because I'm not here to compete against anyone. And I also don't feel like I'm better than anyone. I don't. But what I have noticed is the ones who see the anointing over me always want to challenge me, which I don't understand why. Because it's basically the worst thing that you can possibly ever do, because you guys always end up cursing y'all selves when y'all want to challenge a person like myself. This is what you do. You guys literally curse yourselves and then want to cry wolf and say, oh, woe is me type of situation after karma spins the block on you and you start paying for um, your wickedness. It's in everyone's best interest. Do your research on people, since y'all all want to dig into my past and my history and want to challenge me and, don't want me to be in the ranking that I'm in, and my ranking has gone up. Do your research instead of you guys cursing yourselves. Do your research before you start trying to do hocus pocus and spell work and black magic over complete strangers that you don't even know. Do your research before you start speaking ill over complete strangers that you don't even know. Because I will be the first to let you know, you all are binded to that very same energy that you are spewing. Every wicked, ill thing that comes out of your mouth, you are binded to that very same thing in spirit and in flesh. Yes, you are. The very same thing that you want to happen to complete strangers, to innocent people, out of the fact that you are wounded and demonically possessed and unhealed, you will receive that very same thing. I want you guys to understand that. I'm not here um, to be liked. I'm really and truly not. I don't care about people liking what I have to say. I really don't care. I am here to put this out and leave it right where it's at, basically. Okay? Because I can care less about being liked. I am a popular loner. I stay solo dolo. And a lot of you guys don't do anything but reconfirm the reason why I stay solo dolo. Because just like what just happened 72 hours ago, you guys always show me every reason why I don't have dealings with anyone. I really highly suggest that anyone who cross paths with me and I trigger you, focus on your healing. If I just irritate you out the clear blue, you are unhealed. I just want you to understand that. Anyone who listens to me and you get irritated right off the bat and you decide to unsubscribe, that's because you're unhealed. And that's your prerogative. You are more than welcome to do that. And you're welcome to come back and resubscribe once you heal yourselves. Because I'm all about what's real. I'm all about the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me. I am not here for the fake, the phonies, the wannabes, the wannabe me, because it's quite a few of them out there. I I've literally been dealing with people trying to take my life because they literally want to be me. They want to have the anointing over them that I have over me. They want to have my spiritual gifts. They want to be connected to the Most High the way that I am. Well, I have a suggestion for you. Why don't you put the work in? Because you will never be able to take me out and walk in my energy. like you guys have been attempting to do, which is delusional if I have ever heard in my whole entire life. See, what you guys don't understand is 50 years, about to be 51 years, of people being jealous of me because of the energy that I walk in, being jealous of me because of my talents and my skills, people being jealous of me because of the fact of just the energy that I walk in, how I look, how I carry myself, how I speak, how I think. Like I was just telling someone that I've been knowing since I was a teenager the other day that has daughters of their own. I said, do you know that when I receive a compliment, it doesn't move me? Of course I say thank you, but it does nothing because I've spent 50 plus years with people complimenting me and then turning around and other people being jealous of those compliments about me. I feel nothing. The only thing that I feel is that all of you unhealed people, y'all just need to go and heal yourselves. Go hug a tree or something. Go sit out in nature. Go put your feet in the grass. Change your diet. Stop eating so much meat. Because all of you guys are full of parasites, which is a demonic presence that have lowered your vibrations so much to the point that y'all don't know yourselves, y'all don't love yourselves, and it's just on another level of disgust. Y'all mad at somebody else for being great, looking at yourselves, being mad because you're not. Then change that. You can't be mad at somebody else for being great. Go pour that into yourself. Go figure out how to be great. Take notes. Don't be mad at somebody else because they get up off their behind every single day and decide to put their best foot forward. And I want to address this too. Those of you who have more than most average and still have the audacity to be jealous, go love yourself. Get your insecurities straight because it doesn't make any sense at all. Just for the mere fact that people will actually be jealous of the energy that somebody else walks in is it's ridiculous. I want to say something about the material world. All of you Madonnas, the material world. The material world does not mean anything if you don't love yourself, if you're not walking in the right energy. It means absolutely nothing. I don't flock or fancy material things, although they're nice. I'm more so focused on my spirituality and my connection to the Most High. That's what I flock to. I could care less about what other people have materially. I could care less about where someone lives, what type of house they have, and so on and so forth, because the majority of those very people who have all that material, they so empty inside. Empty inside and pointing a finger and mad and feeling insecure about themselves. and projecting the fact that they lack self love for themselves onto other people. A lot of you guys are going to get a chance to replay this, and I'm gonna, like I said, trigger warning on the title. I'm gonna trigger a lot of people, and I don't care. That's what I'm here to do. I have never in my 50, about to be 51 years, I've never walked around with my nose up in the air feeling like I'm better than anybody else. But in my almost 51 years, I have constantly been talked about, attacked, um, copied, uh, and put down by people who have more than me materially, but not more than me intellectually, creatively, spiritually, because I am spiritually rich. I could care less about the material world and having a whole lot of money, because me being spiritually rich, I have everything that I need. Doesn't matter about where you live, what kind of car you drive, how much money you have. It's about the energy that you walk in. And one thing that I have learned while I have been on this spiritual journey is that people are pissed at me, so much to the point where they want to try to dim my light. They don't want me to shine because of the energy that I walk in. And they literally want to be me. Doppelgangers and copycats literally want to be me. Y'all should focus on being yourselves and loving on yourselves. It's got to be something off mentally when you want to compete against the very person that you want to be just alike. I don't compete against anybody. I think it's low vibrational for anyone to compete against a person who is spiritual and who only wants to, help and teach people how to heal. Because there's a lot of you out there that are wounded as fuck. And, this is no put down or anything like that, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to highlight the obvious. Stop trying to compete where you don't compare. And you so-called men with small penis vibes, get y'all shit together. Because y'all wonder why y'all have such a hard time with the real divine feminine not wanting you. Because a lot of you guys are karmic. Y'all are karmics. Y'all are wannabes out here siphoning energy off of the real chosen ones, the real anointed ones, the real prophets. Because I am a real prophet. And that's why I'm highly sought after and highly disliked. It's just something about me that people can't stand. But while they can't stand me, they can't stop watching. They can't stop looking, lurking, and they can't stop wanting me. It's delusionally disgusting. Speaking of wanting, for all of you warlocks that are trying to force your way into us real divine feminines' lives, save yourselves the trouble and the embarrassment. Because if you didn't know, let me be the first to inform you that it's never going to happen. If you have not been able to see that thus far, that it's never going to happen, let me reiterate that for you. It's never going to happen, okay? So all of the sex magic and love spells and trying to affect people's love lives and trying to make people be obsessed with you that don't know you, that don't know nothing about you. Y'all being obsessed after doing all these love spells because they backfire on you, and all the sex magic that you do to try to impact other people's lives in a negative light. Y'all are disgusting. But once again, let me be the first to assist you guys and let you guys know something. Every last single person that has been removed from my life, or that I removed from my life, was for a reason. Okay? I don't require a crowd around me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just here to do what the Most High put me here to do, and that is to help teach you guys how to heal. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't care about having friends. I don't care about having a man, because from what I've seen, there aren't any men. You guys are absolute trash. And love and light to all of you ladies. I see it's a lot more ladies watching me now, which is a really, really good thing, because I want to highlight certain things that are not being highlighted. I want to provoke thought in you guys, to make you guys sit and think about certain things and certain people. And also, being at the point in your life where, being alone is great, because that's what I am every single day. It's by choice, though. I could be around a bunch of unnecessary heathens that only want to be around me for their own benefit. I could do that, but I choose not to. I don't crave people like that. I'm an orphan. No mother, no father, no family. I'm used to being by myself. So it's like a second nature thing for me. But hopefully you ladies will get to a point where you will start doing an elimination process by removing out of your lives what does not serve your highest good, because that's what life is all about. When you're on your spiritual journey, it is a very challenging journey, and you have to do it alone, because excuse me, you cannot have baggage that's going to weigh you down, because you're going to have people around you. Excuse me. I rebuke that energy, because people are trying to get me to hush up, because they know the anointing over me. When I speak, things happen. I rebuke, reject, nullify, banish, and block all negative energies. Okay? Alchemize, transmute, and transform all of that negativity What is meant for bad, alchemize, transmute, and transform it into good. Positivity, love, and light. I command all of these things, and so it is. Ashe. But yeah, the this spiritual journey is long, and in some cases lonely. But I'm never lonely because I'm never alone. You know, I have the Most High with me at all times. You know, I never feel like I'm missing out on anything. I just don't. I don't feel that way. Now, I know it's hard for a lot of you who basically, you know, have gone through your life surrounded by people your whole entire life, and you know it's hard for you guys to be alone, but uh let me be the first to let you know, if you did not know, that's when you find yourself. That's when you find your true self. That's when you're able to really, really tap in. See, people wanted to use the alone thing as like torture. No, it's actually what I prefer. You know, people wanted to put a lot of us chosen ones in isolation, to have us be by ourselves, because that's their weaknesses. They're not able to be alone by themselves. So they figure whatever their weaknesses are is your weakness. No, it's actually a strength. Being alone is a strength. Let me be the first to let you guys know that. Hold on for just a second. All right, so I'm back. Now they're doing the grass and landscaping with a bunch of noise. So that's the reason why I went silent for a minute, but I am back. But like I was saying, this spiritual journey is not about competition. This spiritual journey is about individuality. And it's also, um, for some, like I said, very lonely. Because when you're on your spiritual journey, it's not about taking other people with you and ganging up and this one and that one. Again, I overstand what I am here to do. I am here to cross paths with certain people. I am here to enlighten. I am here to hand down karma to people. It's just what it is at the end of the day. I am an ascended master. I am a real prophet of the Most High. It is the anointing over me and my spiritual ranking that allows me to move the way that I move and to cross paths with who I am meant to cross paths with. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. It does not matter who it is. I cross paths with people for a reason. And it all depends on how people treat me. Again, I am walking karma. Hi, nice to meet you. It's just all about how people treat me. If you guys have ill intentions off the rip, I'm going to read your energy and I'm going to be able to tell. But I will be, the first to admit, which I have previously before, because that's what I do. I tell the truth. I will act like I don't know what's going on when I'm already knowing because I can read your energy, what you're about. I just give people enough rope to hang themselves. I just want you guys to know that. I don't walk around in fear. I don't fear anything or anybody. I have lived and survived for 50 plus years by myself with no mother, no father, no family. By myself. Out here in these streets, being homeless, going from pillar to post, sleeping in my truck, sleeping in my car. On a serious journey of self discovery. And this is what I am bringing to all of you guys' attention. That's what my spiritual guidance is all about. When people think that they are hurting me, y'all are only hurting yourselves. I don't get embarrassed. When somebody disrespect me or try to challenge me and different things like that, you just fucked yourself. Because trust and believe me, everyone, previous, present, or in the future, who even tries to even think about it, doing something bad to me, has already fucked themselves. Like literally. They're already going through a lot of horrible things. Just the whole thought process. If you speak ill about me, bad things will happen. People receive immediate backfires because it's all about your intentions. I read energy. Once again, I don't go around warning people and be like, hey, you might want to be careful about what you say to me, how you treat me, and so on and so forth, and your intentions. No, I just let people be. Be themselves. Reveal who they really and truly are. Because I like real. I don't like fake. So I'm not going to give you a pre-warning because I like to allow things to unfold. Like I recently helped someone. I sent them money because they were in a mess up situation. I recently helped someone, and it was brought to my attention that this person was scamming. Well, guess what? That's instant karma, because I am walking karma. So anyone who comes at me with ill intentions, you've already screwed yourself, and you're going to fuck around and find out. It's just what it is. And I don't feel bad, or regret helping that person, because all it did was it just sped karma up for that person. That's who I am. I cross paths with people for a reason. So if your intentions are bad, you're going to literally receive the worst karma of your life, crossing paths with a person like myself with bad intentions. If you have good intentions, then you're going to receive good karma. It's just what it is. I don't make up the rules. I just, you know, I just do what God put me here to do. And that is to be a light. I shine light into the darkness. So everywhere that I go, I'm being divinely guided. That's why I am AKA divine, AKA Coach Love and Light, because I shine the light into the darkness. Where there is no light, that's when I show up, because it's nothing but darkness, meaning low vibrational antics and people and energies and spirits and so on and so forth. And because of the fact that I fear no one, I fear nothing, God says, okay, now this is your assignment. You are to go and expose. That's what I'm here for. I am here to expose all of the evil. And people don't realize that about me until after they start receiving their karma, after trying to attempt to mess over me. It is what it is. I don't make up the rules, I just follow them. So, on that note, like I said, I hope that, my testimony was able to help some people just be inspired, is basically all that I'm saying at the end of the day. My triumphant, my perseverance should inspire people. I've never had anything handed to me. Everything that I've ever accomplished was pure dedication and hard work coming from me. And I don't go around messing over other people, but, because of the energy that I walk in, people want to try me and then they end up regretting it. So, you know, those of you who are new to my channel, that's just a message to you guys. Just don't be so quick to, look at a person like they're a lick. Like, oh yeah, I'll be able to mess over this person, and I'll be able to, get over on this person, because you will end up regretting that decision. And that's what a lot of people are now starting to learn, because I am walking karma. I am not the person that you want to try to do negativity to. You get more bees with honey, right? You can't go around wanting to mess over people and then turn around and need that very same person that you messed over. It doesn't work like that. Because I'm the type of person, I already don't have any friends by choice. I could have a bunch of, fake people around me. I just choose not to. But you don't want to be one of those people that find out the hard way. Because I see a lot of people losing. I'm talking about lives just falling apart, all because they decided to try me. Just saying. But, I don't put out threats. I put out promises. I promise to fulfill my divine journey, my divine path, which I already have. I've already fulfilled it, you know, and continue to share my testimony and survival with each and every last single one of you, because I have a lot of different situations that I have survived that I haven't shared. I will one day, though. I will. So, this most recent near death experience is one of many. And like I said, I am forever grateful to the medical team, all of you beautiful people, you doctors and you nurses who helped me, who helped to take care of me and nurse me back to health. Love and light to each and every last single one of you. I send all of you bountiful amounts of love and light and blessings beyond your wildest dreams. I hope that each and every last single one of you gets what your heart desires, all because you helped to save this angel over here, me, Coach Love and Light, aka Divine Justice. Love and light to each and every last single one of you. All. I hope you all get your heart's desires for helping to save my life. Absolutely. Love and light. And on that note, this is Coach Love and Light. I will be back again with more thought-provoking topics and discussions, y'all. You guys stay prayed up. And all of you who are still wounded and unhealed, get on your knees and not for the D. Okay? Pray. Pray them demons up off of you. Close your legs. Start loving on yourselves. Do everything that you possibly can to change your own entire life instead of being jealous of someone else's. Y'all stay prayed up. All right? Because it's only one way, and it's Yahweh. It's God's way. That's the only way to go. Because the devil going to keep on tricking y'all, because it's only one way. You can't straddle the fence, and one day you about the Most High, the next day you on some demon time stuff. You can't do that. You got to pick a side and stay there. This is what I encourage for each and every last single one of you. Let my testimony be an inspiration for all of you guys. No matter what has happened to me in my 50 plus years, nothing will ever stop me. No weapons formed against me will ever prosper because of the protection and the anointing over me. I am a real prophet, here to do the Most High's work, and I continue to do it on a daily basis. Yes, I do. And I'm going to continue to, no matter what the naysayers, no matter how many people decide to be hating on me and jealous and want to put me down because of the fact that I encourage people to heal. This is what I do every single day. I'm not going to stop. I'm focused on my own healing, and all I'm trying to do is encourage other people to do the same. Y'all heal yourselves. Heal yourselves from the inside out. Learn how to love on yourselves, because I see a lot of you guys don't love yourself, and y'all wonder why your life is not going right and stuff is falling apart because you don't love yourself. And you can't be mad and hate on the next person because they love themselves, such as myself. Because I love me. I don't need nobody to co-sign about the love that I have for me and the connection that I have to the Most High. I'm a walking, breathing, living demonstration of how God is real. Get like me. That part. Show the Most High that you love yourself instead of being out here disrespecting yourself or disrespecting other people for a laugh or for clout or for money. Y'all need to get y'all shit together. Like, seriously. Because y'all looking real disgusting out here. And stop hating on us who are out here doing the Most High's work. And again, this spiritual walk is not about competition. I don't compete. Stop trying to compete where you do not compare. I don't feel like I'm better than nobody else, but I'm better than who I was yesterday and the day before that, last year, the year before that. I'm trying to outdo me. I don't care about outdoing other people because they don't matter. I'm a popular loner, y'all. I don't have no friends on purpose because look at what people do. They so unhealed and want to compete and want to try to clout chase and do demonic things, all because of the fact that they don't love themselves. And let me speak on this here too before I end this live, because I'm about to end this live. Let me say this real quick. For all of you young ladies, because I looked at my percentage rate, I got more women watching me now than men. I used to have more men watching me than women. So let me say this. Please, and this is coming from me with the most love and light possible. All of you ladies, please start demonstrating more love for yourselves. Get yourselves out of toxic situations. If these dudes ain't loving you the way that they should be, release yourself. Stop being so quick to open up your legs for this trash that's out here, because they are not men, they are boys. They are boys who literally only want to feed off of you. They want to make a living off of you. They want to mooch off of you. They want to live off of you because of the goodness that you walk in. And I'm talking about your energy. Y'all got to be careful. There's a lot of energy vampires out here that are seeking the real divine feminine to feed off of. These energy vampires, these succubus, incubus, Jezebel spirits. They are after you guys. Why y'all think that I'm always solo dolo? Coach Love and Light is always solo by choice. That's my advice to you young ladies and you ladies who are, of older age than myself, because I see I got people over 60s, because I'm about to be 51 in 2 weeks. My birthday is coming up. So a lot of you ladies that are older, that are my age and older, love on yourselves. Not a man. That's really not a man. That's really a boy. Because that's all I see. That's why I choose to be single and celibate. Happily single and celibate. Because this trash out here in these streets, it's not worth it. More of us older ladies are choosing ourselves over being with somebody who don't really love us, who just want to chase clout and or want us to take care of them. They need to take care of themselves, first of all, by starting off by figuring out how to love themselves. I suggest you ladies do the same. All right? This is Coach Love and Light, aka Divine Justice. I will be back again with more thought-provoking topics and discussions, y'all. Love on y'all selves, and y'all stay prayed up, all right? I hope that my testimony inspires you guys, because that's what I do this for. I don't do it for no other reason. Love and light, y'all.